Today we're going to be talking about Southwest Airlines, if it might be a good stock to buy, whether you want to hold out, wait for the dip, or you want to buy now because you see an uptrend in the stock. Today I'm going to be talking about the whole process about it, my thoughts on it and my opinion. I'm going to be showing you guys on 𝙤𝙪𝙪𝙧𝙚 platform whether it's a buy or not and at what price point to buy the stock. All I ask, if you could just like this video, it takes 5 seconds of your time, it really helps out this channel. Also subscribe if you haven't yet. Today we're going to be talking about ticker symbol LUV, Southwest Airlines. I personally don't think we've hit the bottom yet for this stock. I'm going to show you guys exactly why. Before this whole sell-off, we were at $58 until we got this whole news of this whole coronavirus. But honestly, I thought we were pretty much overbought for the S&P 500. And I'm actually going to show you guys why I don't think we've bottomed yet. So we're at $58. We've hit here. We've hit this low of $29. And this is actually the Fibonacci tool that I use. For the most part, it looks pretty good for this stock. Some stocks, it doesn't look as good, doesn't follow the trend lines. But for this stock, you can actually see that follows it and respects the support and resistance line. So from this fall here, it hit support here and it pretty much didn't break the $30 price point. It hit the lows of $29, but it bounced pretty much from there. A little bull uptrend here, bull trap, was actually because of the stimulus package that came out of the $2 trillion. Pretty much everybody knows about that. That came out and actually helped drive this stock all the way back to $43. If you would have bought there, that's a pretty big increase, 43% increase on that stock. If you would have bought from 30, sold at $43. But I personally don't think we've hit the bottom yet. I do see the stock trending down. I even see it breaking down, touching close to $25. I personally will do is load up little by little. Start loading up around $32, $31, $30, whatever you feel comfortable with. $29, $28, $26, $27. Whatever you feel comfortable with are positions to start loading up little by little. For the S&P 500, what I predict, actually, I'm going to use this as a guide. When I see the SPY hit around the 200 and 180 mark is when I'm going to be loading up my positions long term. Let's say if I wanted to buy Apple and Amazon and those, I'm actually going to be waiting and seeing for it to hit the 200 and 180. I don't think we've hit the bottom yet. I actually think we're still in the beginning stages of this coronavirus. The press just came out, we're actually going to be on lockdown until April 30th. We have a whole month. That's just basically an estimate. That doesn't mean that April 30th we're going to get back to regular work. I mean, if it's still bad, we're probably going to extend it. We don't know what and how the scenario goes. This is just a precaution. Nobody really knows. Nobody's really working. A lot of people are laid off currently. They're not making any money, and what this does is give it a big snowball effect, So like, let's say all these small businesses are closed, so they can't hire employees, and employees can't make money. They can't spend it on local businesses, and it's just a big snowball effect for the economy. So even after this whole coronavirus ends, it's still gonna leave a big impact into the economy. Even though we've given out, $2 trillion. This aid of $1,200 everybody gets. What it does is it causes inflation as well. It has to be a balance of both, because you don't want to give out too much money, which causes inflation, and you want to help out the economy as well to get it back to regular. The longer we stay locked down, the worse it's going to get for the economy, for sure. It's going to be a big snowball effect. So I personally do see it trending down. It might take a whole month to see it at this low level, a month or two. I really don't know the time frame, but I do personally think that we're going to see a lower low for this in this price range right here. What I like to do is I actually go on Market Watch. All you have to do is type in marketwatch.com, and this is how you can actually see the balance sheets of every company. So you just go in here and you type in the ticker symbol LUV for Southwest Airlines. You can see the income statement and the balance sheet. You're going to go to balance sheet to see how much cash they have on hand, how much assets they have. So they actually have $2.55 billion in cash in hand, total assets of $27 billion. Liabilities is a bit high for this company. $17.18 billion is a bit high for the liabilities. The stimulus package to help out airlines and stuff, but it's only going to help out for so long. So just to recap, guys, anything below $30, $32, $31, and anything below 30 is a good time to buy. If you want to buy other stocks, you could look at the S&P 500, and when it hits around the 200 price range or the 180 is the time to start loading up long positions long term for even other stocks and other companies you want to start investing in. And I'm actually going to show you guys a little bit of history to show you guys that it will actually bounce back up. long term. It'll probably take about, you know, 2 even up to 3 years depending on how this whole thing plays out. But I personally think in 2 years from the low you'll see a good return on your investments. We're gonna go all the way back to 2008 when they had the whole recession. They also had a bailout at that time for, you know, the housing. They actually gave out 700 to 800 billion dollars, hit all the way lows of $4.95. Let's see from here, if you would have waited 2 years, 1 year here, 2 years, you could have sold here at this high point. It went all the way up to $14.42. So about 192% growth, which, you know, it's not probably the best investment, but it just shows you that it's gonna take some time, but it will get back. And honestly, Southwest Airlines, I personally don't think it's one of the best stocks to invest in. I'm just doing a price analysis for it. I personally would more likely invest in United or Delta. That's my opinion. I'm also making videos on those if you want to see them. I'll have them in the link in the description down below. A good tool that I personally use, I recommend it to a lot of beginner traders and new traders that don't know when it's a good time to start investing in the market. You know, the greed and fear index. There's a saying that you want to be greedy when others are fearful, and this is a really good tool to use. Actually, about when this thing was dropping tremendously all the way up to here, it was probably around like, it was like 1 or 2. It was really low. It's funny because right around when the S&P 500 was up here, I was saying here that, man, we were super overbought for the most part. Like, honestly, like to see it bounce, stay around this range here. This is the moving average. It's healthy for it to stay around this range here, but you can see how it gapped so far off of this that, you know, it was just really overbought. It just crashed from there. I personally did not see it crash from this corona thing, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I thought I was gonna test around here. I think a lot of people didn't think this corona thing was this serious until it came here, and then we were like, oh, okay, this is pretty bad. So I don't think a lot of people were prepared for this. You know, we are here with this whole problem now, and we really don't know when we're gonna start opening stores back up, getting back to our regular lives. Basically, the economy is kind of shut down now. Only essential workers are working, and Friday actually they're releasing the statement of how many unemployments there are. Probably around aftermarkets of Friday, you're gonna see a big bounce. After, with all that news, you're probably gonna see around the 200 and the 180 mark. At that time, it would be a great time to fill your positions and go long, because after this, I personally think in 2 years, it doesn't mean I'm right, 2 to 3 years, you know, it'll be a really good investment. So just to summarize it up, anything below 30 is a buy, I think, if you want to buy Southwest Airlines. Personally, I'm going to stay away from Southwest Airlines, but if you want to buy the stock, anything below 30 is a good buy. 30 to 25 price range. This is, I think, going to be the new low for it. You could also buy here if you want to hold long term, you know, but I personally think we're going to see lower lows within the next few weeks. Leave any questions you want below. I'm going to be answering 3 questions for the next video. So leave any questions you have on stocks or any videos that you might want to see, or companies that you want me to review. I'll be more than happy to review them. Also, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys on the next video.